I have a very strange relationship with music because sometimes I absolutely hate it. I mean, at the detest level. But then sometimes it's the reason I breathe. We are sitting here at my studio in the Santa Monica Mountains called The Barn. And this is where I work day in and day out. It's a really special place. Peter Grunheisen designed it and won a Tech Award for it. All the wood, all the decks, all the sides is all reclaimed Hollywood Bowl wood. When they remodeled the Hollywood Bowl, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, they got rid of all that wood. So, if you can just imagine, the 60, 70 years of sucking up this wood, sucking up everything that was been in that Hollywood Bowl. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Chili Peppers, Elton John. I mean, the list goes on forever. It's a special place, and people that come up here, they feel it. I come down here and work every day at the barn. And I have a studio in Virginia Beach, and every day, 365, I'm in there working. That craft kind of goes away, if you stop singing or stop playing or stop songwriting. I'm in fear of that going away. So as long as I keep writing better songs and making better records, we're going to keep plowing along. So my recording process works like this. If I'm working, sitting outside with my guitar and my lyric book, and if I get an idea, I kind of work the idea, come down here, start laying it down. It starts with a simple guitar track, and it just kind of slowly starts to build. I don't try to run it down a certain road. I just do what kind of happens. And when the album's done, then it gets released. Yeah, so my lyric book is kind of is the map that has gotten me from nothing to having these albums done. I'll have to get a new one because this one's almost done. When I'm ready to do vocals, which means I have, guitar chords, I have some kind of a beat, and the lyrics are all done, I got the melody all done, and so what I do is I loop record it. And so I turn the monitors off, hit the space bar, go into record, and I run in there, close the door, let it go all the way past, and then I'll loop back around. And then I do it for usually around 10 times. And I use a 1073, an LA2A, and a Telefunken 250. And that's my vocal chain, and it's incredible. I love it. And it's nice, the 8014 Neve I have, I kept the 1/4-inch patch bay and, all the stuff that makes, those consoles kind of special. A lot of times they are cut up, and because the modules are worth everything, and everyone just wants modules. They don't want a big console, because they don't need it. They need 1 or 2 channels. And it's kind of like my job to kind of carry on and take care of this guy until my job of doing it is over and I hand it to somebody else, and they'll be their job to take care of it. I do have favorite guitars, and I have some that I always use on my records, and ones I always use for doubles. I have a 58 Burst, which I love. I have a 1950 Broadcaster. I have a 54 Stratocaster. I have a 58 Jazzmaster in blonde, and a lot of acoustic guitars. Fender did a limited run of guitars called Front Row Series, and they were kind enough to make me one, which I begged them for, and they were very kind to do that. So I don't know how many they actually made, but it's a great guitar, and I was lucky to get one. But I have like a go-to thing, like a 62 Les Paul, looks like an SG. I have this acoustic guitar that Martin made for me. That's my new favorite guy. I like a Royer 122 on electric guitars. The 47 I use for my acoustic guitar. It's kind of different here because I have the 47 here, and I have a jeweled M49 on the East Coast that I use for acoustic guitars. I have the same vocal chain there, exactly the same, and the vocals sound exactly the same, so that's no problem. But I do like recording the acoustic guitars here. I have this old Western Electric tube summing amp that I got from Les Paul's estate. And this thing is a giant beast, it's got these giant knobs on it, and it's, all tubes, and I have that on the East Coast. I love my Kemper. I love that thing. That's an important part of my process because I can really kind of experiment with guitar sounds. I programmed the drums on the last 3 albums in Superior Drummer. What I can do is I can take 5 snare drums, stack them on top of each other, drop one down 2 octaves, and it still has snap. You can't do that with a real drum. So I can create something very kind of unique that you can't do with just miking up a drum set. These things have such a tonal personality that you kind of learn to recognize it. And you go, yeah, that guy would be good for this. Those old leveling amps and those old tube compressors and stuff have a very unique and very cool sound to them. So it makes it fun.